What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For you members, you get early access to this. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. Let's go over QQQ, SPY, SMH, then we'll hit some of the individual equities. As we called out before, the Qs hitting that all-time high right here at $600 per share. We've been watching out for this level. We had a feeling that Qs was going to touch this. I'm going to wait and see. Are we going to get a pullback finally now that we reached our goal at $600 per share on the Qs? It is right there available for everybody to see. Will we get that retracement? That's the level that we are anticipating a pullback. Even 2% would bring us back to about 587. Wouldn't be surprised if we pull back a little bit. Looking at the 5-year chart, we are trending. Let me show you, just zooming in on the drawing tool on Webull. We are trending like this. Now, will we get a retracement back to that 550 range? That would be a healthy pullback if we do start to get that, because we know that September and October are known to be a little bearish. So if that does happen, that is okay. Profit taking, no big deal. We are prepared. Let's hit the SPY. We are watching for that 600 retest. Looking at the SPY now, similar story here, trading at all-time highs, 665. Waiting for a pullback on this. If we get a pullback, it's not a big deal at all. It's just pulling back maybe 640, 650, a 3% pullback on the S&P 500. Looking at the 5-year chart, we are trending up. Now let's go over SMH, the semiconductor ETF, which has had a lot of action lately and over the last 5 days has really ballooned up from 300 all the way up to about $318 per share. And that news was on Intel pushing up higher, partnering up with NVIDIA. And that is a huge deal for them. So now looking at SMH, the levels that we need to be watching on the 6-month chart is we never got this break and retest. We just went higher. So $300 is the line in the sand right now for SMH. And if we did have that nice of a pullback, that would be beautiful, because then we can get here at 4%, 5% pullback. But if you look at this, we are forming a mini bull flag. So it looks like potentially we could continue this move higher. Looking at this, watching this level right here, I would be on the watch for this. Let's see if SMH continues to be strong. We break out of this consolidation and push higher above 318. That is something that I would be looking for. Look for that on SMH. Let's move to the semiconductors, because if we're going to talk about SMH, we have to talk about NVIDIA. NVIDIA is consolidating in this zone right now around $172 to $184 per share. And when you are in that zone, we are rejecting the 184. And we are pulling support around $171 per share. So I definitely would be keeping an eye on this. What I am seeing is we are making lower highs right now. You have 184 resistance, and now at 180 we are rejecting. So let's see, will we start to pull back? We're going to enter October, which is notoriously known for September, October getting some profit taking, maybe down to 167 would be nice. So NVIDIA levels, we are watching 167 and 171 and a high resistance of $184 per share, just to show you on this perspective here. Let's go over the next semiconductor, and then we'll move over. After we hit all the semiconductors, we will start to break down the MAG 7. Now looking here on AVGO, AVGO is pulling back. 350 is a resistance zone. As I zoom in, you will start to see the levels a little more clearer. Looking right here on AVGO, we are in an uptrend. We are trading in a nice uptrend, but the most recent level of support is going to be around this $335 per share. You can see it clear as day right here on AVGO. We had up and then pulling back, and now we are going to retest potentially. We are trading between 335 and 350. Watch that level. See if you are going to get rejection in this point. That's okay. Look for a 350 retest. If SMH is weak, look for the rejection back down to 335. What I really like is if we can finally get some weakness in the market, so we can get some buying opportunities for those that are looking to add more. I want to see AVGO pull back 345, reject 335, and then start moving lower down to that 310 range. That would be more interesting for me if we were going to be potentially trading that. Next, I want to go over MU. MU stock is another popular Micron technology. It's another popular semiconductor stock. I think this is an obvious short here. We are making higher highs, but if you look here, its previous rejection was $156 per share. I just want to draw this a little lower to around 146. And what I'm looking for is just looking at this from a technical perspective here. It is clear as day that the RSI is a little overbought right now. And we are trading, when it was at 170, it was at $82 per share, showing that it was overbought. Pulled back from 170 down to 162, waiting for this pullback to about $150 per share. That's what I'd be looking for with MU. Next, let's move into some of the Mag 7s here. Let's go into Tesla. Actually, before Tesla, let's go into AMD. AMD is another popular stock. They had news yesterday with Intel, where Intel was partnering up with NVIDIA. Pulled back 162 down to 149. In hindsight, this was an easy no-brainer buy. It pulled back 7% in about 2 minutes, and then it bounced all the way back, recovered to 158. Now it is trading around 157. I think when you trade AMD, you just have to use 150 as your mental stop loss. Anything below 150 is your mental stop loss, and anything at 170 is a rejection point. So when you zoom in closer, it gets easier to see. This is the zone that you were trading in, as you can see. So looking at 150 up to 170, I would be watching these levels. If 150 continues to show weakness, then you may have an opportunity to break this 150 level right here, 145, 146, and retest. So look for the downtrend. AMD looks like it's downtrending. It's slowly, if I just show you with the chart here, with the drawing tool, we are pulling back higher lows, and now hopefully break 150 and start making it down to 135 per share. I would love to see this around 124. That would be a nice healthy pullback. We'll have to wait and see, are we going to get that? Next, let's look here. Let me see, Tesla. We got Chipotle stock. I just want to hit this real quick. Chipotle stock is basically pulling back to $139 per share. Pull back to 36 would be excellent. I've been waiting for this entry. It's still lagging. When you look at Chipotle on the grand scheme of things, 38.30 still needs to break. If this cannot get above $41 per share, even $40 per share, I don't see how this isn't just look like it's just delaying until the inevitable happens where it's going to sell off. I'm looking for $36, $35 per share. That would be a nice entry for me to get on them. Now let's go over Tesla. Tesla is just unbelievable. Looking at the 1 month chart, this stock is very difficult to trade because it is just so active. It went from 355 up to 431, and now it is consolidating and is trading within this zone here at $433 per share. When you're up on this level, just be cautious. Look at this. We have to hold $412 per share. If we don't hold that level, I'm going to show you why it's so important. We've got to hold $412 to $414 per share for push higher to retest. If you go back on the 5-year chart and you're looking at Tesla's rejection point was $414 per share. That was in 2021. So I'm using that as my base case to look out and see if Tesla's going to continue remaining bullish. It needs to hold this 414. I'm going to give it some slack because Tesla likes to move like crazy. 412 to 414.5. It's got to hold that level, and we got to start pushing higher above this 433 per share. If we can get above that, I think we have a move to 450 coming. That would be interesting to play. Next stock I wanted to break down. I wanted to go over Google stock. Google stock is trading at all-time highs. I hold this in the YouTube portfolio for those of you members of the channel. I appreciate you guys supporting it. You've seen it. I've been buying shares of Google down at $140 per share. And now within the last year, it has made higher highs, which is excellent. Moving to the 6-month chart, we are continuously moving 207 back up to 236, 255. I'm holding my shares. RSI is 77 at the moon right now. I'm not selling. I'm going to continue buying and holding long term. For me, that is the way to go. Oracle stock, right now. Had that nice move up from 200 off of their guidance. And as long as it holds $292 per share, preferably 300, it is clear that we have moves higher. But just be cautious. We got to get above 320 again as well. Looking at the next stock, let's go over Apple. Apple stock had a nice rebound. They went up to $246 per share. Watching them, let's just see if they are trading at the top of the channel. When you look at them on a max chart, you can see they are right at $250 per share. This is a potential rejection point here. We'll see if it consolidates in this area and rejects back down to maybe $220, $225 per share. I just want to hit a few more before we end this. I think Lyft is worth looking at. If you look at Lyft on a year-to-date basis, they were trading down at $9. They pulled all the way up to $23. They had a nice news catalyst on them. But after this bull flag of up to $26 per share, they've been continuously pulling back. So I'd be looking for pullbacks at $21 per share. That is where I'm going to be looking to scalp this. If I can get $20.50 to $21 and then a push up higher is really where I want to look when I'm trading Lyft stock. Let's go over Open Door Technologies, this real estate digital company trying to change the game, how we look at real estate. Looking at $11 per share. If we can get above this, then there is no ceiling, which is great. So we need to get above $11 per share, and then it would probably move potentially to $14.50, because when you look at the resistance, $14.50 to about $14 flat is the previous resistance. But overall, this does look overbought on a short-term basis. In the last 3 months, it went from 50 cents up to $5, then pulled back all the way back to $2, and now it is getting close to trading up to $11 per share. So let's see if it can get above this level right here. Be cautious. I'm sure dip buyers are waiting for $6 per share on this. Just want to review a few more. Let's see what else we got here. What other stocks we got reviewed? Let's see. XRP. I just want to hit some crypto a little bit. Crypto XRP is broken out of this wedge. And if it can hold $3 per share, I think we can make a move higher. It's just got to be cautious. ETH approaching that 5,000 per share, which is awesome. So as long as it can break above 5,000, we can continue to make higher highs. ETH has never been more than 5,000. When you look at it on a technical perspective, it did reach that topping tail up here around 49.56, sold off. Still greenish candles going in. Give it some time, let it consolidate. Continue into dollar cost average on my Gemini. You can get the referral link on my YouTube channel if you are interested. Solana's blowing up as well. It went up to $253 per share, trading in a nice uptrend. Just keep in mind, 250 is pretty much the high on this. I mean, it did go up to 295 at one point, but that's a thin wick candle, so it wasn't very long lasting. If you get about $250 per share, that will be strong. Lululemon is interesting to see. Is this going to be a stock that can potentially recover here? We are struggling, but we are potentially making a nice cup and handle. If we can get above this 170, I think that can start to change the narrative on Lululemon. I think they have a lot of competition, but when it comes to the apparel business, people like what they like, and if they like Lululemon, then we just have to see that their margins are starting to increase. Overall, on a chart perspective on them, I just want to get perspective. They used to be $516 per share, so I don't blame people for trying to buy the top on this or the bottom. But just remember, you've had multiple bear flags form where this continues to sell off, and it doesn't mean it's not going to keep getting cheaper. But you just got to watch out. Looking at the 5-year, you can see where I'd feel comfortable buying this would be around $150 per share or $125 per share. It pulled back here around these levels. So we just got to wait and see, be patient with them. I would like to see some company news that have a little more positivity. If you're going to buy them, that's fine. Just follow a stop loss. You got to get above 170 for a pushback up to 200. I mean, ROI on that, if you're just going to go off of that risk right off that bat here, that's a 18% return. So you could look at it in that perspective as well. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in. If you like this, definitely subscribe to the channel. I'll post in the community chat under under the YouTube channel where you can get access to this video as well.